Oliver had earned his solitude. After 30 years serving in the Terran Colonial Defense Force, fighting off raiders on the Outer Rim and negotiating peace treaties with species that could barely comprehend human diplomacy, he'd retired to Dome 7 on the barren moon of Arcturus 9. His dome was small, efficient, and most importantly, isolated. No neighbors for 50 kilometers in any direction. Just the way he liked it. The recycler hummed quietly as Oliver tended to his hydroponic garden, carefully adjusting the nutrient mix for his tomato plants. The red fruits reminded him of Earth, a planet he hadn't seen in 15 years. Outside the reinforced plexiglass, the moon's surface stretched endlessly gray, lifeless. Perfect. That perfection shattered when his proximity alarm screamed to life. Oliver's military instincts kicked in immediately. He pulled up the external cameras on his wall screen, expecting raiders or a malfunctioning mining drone. What he saw instead made him freeze. 5 figures huddled against his dome's outer door, their bodies pressed against the reinforced steel as Arcturus 9's brutal dust storm raged around them. But these weren't human figures. Even through the grainy camera feed, Oliver could make out their distinctive features: elongated necks, scaled skin that shimmered with iridescent patterns, and the elegant horned crests that marked them as draconian females, Dragonkin. And from the way they clutched each other, they were in serious trouble. Oliver's jaw clenched. He knew about the draconian species. During the war, they'd been reluctant allies, proud, honor-bound warriors who valued strength above all else. Their males were fierce combatants, but their females, the females were supposed to be protected, cherished, kept safely in their homeworlds. What were 5 draconian women doing alone on a dead moon in the middle of nowhere? He watched them for another moment. One of them smaller than the others, her scales a deep crimson, looked directly at the camera. Even through the screen, Oliver could see the desperation in her golden eyes. "Damn it," he muttered. Punching the door release, the airlock cycled, and the 5 women stumbled inside, bringing a cloud of dust with them. They collapsed onto the floor of his entryway, their breathing labored, their elegant scales dulled by exhaustion. The crimson-scaled one looked up at him. "Gratitude, human," she said in accented but clear standard. "We are in your debt." Oliver grabbed emergency thermal blankets from the supply locker. "Save it. Get warm first. You can explain later." As they recovered, Oliver studied them more carefully. All 5 wore the black armbands of draconian widows, their mates lost in battle or disaster. The crimson-scaled woman seemed to be their leader. She introduced herself as Ava, and the others as her sisters-in-law, Lyra, Zara, Mira, and Kess. "Our transport crashed 3 kilometers from here," Ava explained once they'd warmed up and Oliver had provided them with water. "We were fleeing our homeworld. After our mates died in the Zindari raid, the council declared us ... disposable, resources to be redistributed. We refused to be taken as secondary mates to warriors who saw us as mere trophies." Oliver's expression darkened. He'd heard rumors of the draconian government's harsh policies, but hearing it confirmed made his blood boil. "So you ran." "We ran," Eva confirmed, her golden eyes meeting his steadily. "We purchased passage on a smuggler's ship, but the pilot betrayed us, tried to sell us to slavers. We fought back. The ship crashed during the struggle. The pilot?" "Dead," Lyra said flatly, her blue scales rippling. "We do not regret it." Oliver nodded slowly. In their position, he would have done the same. "The storm will last another 2 days. After that, you'll need to move on. This dome isn't big enough for 6 people long term." Ava's crest lowered a gesture of shame among her people. "We understand. We will not impose further than necessary." But as those 2 days passed, Oliver found his resolve weakening. The 5 women were resourceful, skilled, and far from helpless. Ava had extensive knowledge of xenobiology and helped him optimize his garden's yield by 30%. Zara was a mechanical genius who fixed his temperamental water recycler in under an hour. Mira could cook anything edible into something delicious. Lyra had tactical training that rivaled his own, and Kes had the gentlest hands he'd ever seen when she carefully repaired his old service medals, treating them with a reverence that made his throat tight. They weren't burdens. They were survivors. On the third morning, as the storm cleared, Oliver found Ava staring out at the barren landscape through the dome's viewport. "We will leave today," she said quietly. "You have been more than generous, Oliver. We will find our way." "To where?" Oliver asked. "You said it yourself. You're fugitives. The draconian government will be looking for you. Slavers will be looking for you. And 5 draconian widows traveling alone? You won't make it a week." Ava's scales shimmered with suppressed emotion. "Then we will die with our honor intact. Or," Oliver said slowly, "you could stay." She turned to him, surprise flickering across her reptilian features. "Stay? I've got enough supplies stockpiled for a year. The dome can be expanded. I've got the construction permits. Just never saw the point. Arcturus 9 doesn't ask questions, and the local mining authority doesn't care who lives where, as long as you pay your oxygen tax." He met her gaze evenly. "You need a safe place. I've got room. Seems like a fair trade." Eva stared at him for a long moment. "Why would you do this? We are nothing to you." Oliver thought about the decades he'd spent fighting to protect people humans, aliens, anyone caught in the crossfire of a cruel galaxy. He thought about coming home to an empty dome every night, convincing himself that solitude was peace. "Maybe I'm tired of living alone," he said simply. "And maybe you deserve a place where you can just exist, without running, without fighting, without being told you're disposable." Tears formed in Ava's golden eyes, a rare display of emotion for a draconian. "You would do this, truly?" "On one condition," Oliver said with a slight smile. "Someone's got to help me expand this dome. My back isn't what it used to be." Ava's laugh was like music bright and unexpected. "Then we will build, human Oliver. We will build a home worthy of the sanctuary you offer." And for the first time in years, Oliver's isolated dome didn't feel empty anymore.